Hey, you. Yeah, you. Welcome to the Malaka podcast. Childish Gambino, aka Donald Glover, part 2. Well, last time we left off, about halfway through the music video, Childish Gambino, Feels Like Summer. At this point, we're right at the part where now it shows the beautiful, talented Beyonce. And she's wearing a shirt that says R.I.P. Fredo Santana, who unfortunately died from a seizure at the age of 27. You always hate to hear when people die at the age of 27. I don't know, for some reason that age 27 in the music industry seems to be somewhat of a curse. But yeah, unfortunately, he's passed away, but a lot of people will still always remember him for being a great Chicago rapper who was part of the whole drill music campaign. Guys like him, Chief Keef, pretty much set the trend there. And Beyonce, what I find interesting is she has her eyes closed. And a lot of other people in the video, too, have their eyes closed. Kid Cudi had his eyes closed. Kanye West had his eyes closed until Michelle Obama entered the scene and started hugging him. So I didn't bring this up before, but maybe the whole eyes closed thing is just something, part of the video. Maybe it's just meant to represent that, people aren't fully seeing things the way they are, or maybe they're embarrassed to open their eyes, to certain things, or maybe they don't feel like seeing the world right now. I feel a lot of us at times, we just keep our eyes closed to the truth. Maybe in this case, a lot of people just don't want to face that he died, or in many cases, they just don't want to, face the world. Maybe that's what it represents, just sadness. And when we open our eyes, we're ready to face the world again. The next image in the video is probably one of the more interesting ones. Here it shows Andrew Gillum. And if you don't know who Andrew Gillum is, at 23 years old, he became the city's youngest commissioner in Tallahassee. Now, to me, that's extremely young. I didn't even know that was even possible. From what I read about this guy seems like a really bright guy. And he's sitting on a bench. The background's dark. And beside him is a cup of ice cream. Now, half of it is chocolate, half of it is vanilla. Now, the vanilla half seems to be a little bit more than the chocolate ice cream. Now, because Andrew Gillum is so young, and he's probably taking on so many challenges already in his life, the next comparison, like I said, is the ice cream. A lot of people are saying online that it's Extacion, the person that just died recently, or it could represent XXX Tacion and also Little Peep, the black and white side. But most people are saying it's XXX Dion because of his hair. So they're kind of doing the whole contrast thing with the white and the black. So to me, I see this as, giving a salute to the late, young, great rapper. And maybe the challenges that Andrew Gillum has to face for him being so young. So it's basically saying that, in my opinion, that, when you're young, a lot of times you do have time to play, like they were portraying with the two rappers in the video in the beginning. But then a lot of people have more responsibilities. They become more in the public eye. And it's, sometimes, you don't even see when your time is up. And unfortunately, your past will come back to haunt you, and it doesn't always end well. And maybe this is just a heads up to Andrew Gillum. I don't know if his life is being threatened or not, but I can't imagine what it's like being in the public eye, especially when you're in politics, and every decision, is under a microscope, and people are always watching you, what's going to be your next move, especially when you're, that young, and, it holds a lot of responsibility. So, it's always important to keep that in mind, and don't focus so much on the negativity around you. And there's a reason why you're this young and you're this successful, so don't forget that. Also, I find it funny that they're sitting on a bench, because like, in my opinion, usually when you see people on a public bench, they usually have a little bit more time than most people. Most people, they work 9 to 5. They don't have time to go out and no longer go out and sit on a bench and just relax. So, I'm not implying that he's got a lot of time on his hands, but, at times, yeah, we do wish we could just sit down and, just enjoy the day and collect our thoughts. Also, it's interesting that the end of the video ends with a fading black and the ice cream melting, but it's not melting together. It still seems to be melting separately in the same cup. So, is this a reference to, racism? Is this a reference to that white people are regarded that much more higher in society than black people? Personally, I don't agree with that. But overall, I'll be honest with you, from what I see is, it doesn't matter if you're black or white. To me, it just represents that, eventually we all just fade away. And, if we keep this barrier up between us, then, nothing's going to get solved. So, black, white, it doesn't matter. We're still in the same cup. We're still in the same world. So we got to get along together. The next image is, I don't know, I kind of find it funny, to be honest. You got little Uzi Vert sitting down, and he's getting his hair braided by Oprah. And on the left of him is a young actress named Zendaya Coleman, and she is getting her hair braided by Tiffany Haddish, who is a comedian and actress. Now, little Uzi Vert, again, he's another young rapper, kind of young rapper slash singer, I guess. He mostly raps, but his biggest hit by far to me has been EXO Tour Life 3. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not sure, like when you spell life, it's spelled capital L, small l, IF3. I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to say 3 at the end, but anyways, great song, by the way. If you ever have a chance, listen to it. Cool video too. He's been known to worship the devil just because he's friends with Marilyn Manson. Now, again, this is, I don't know, I feel like I'm reliving the late 90s again, but just because someone listens to Marilyn Manson, that doesn't mean they worship the devil. I'm pretty sure we went through this already, but yeah, I listen to Marilyn Manson too, and I don't swear, to the almighty Satan. So, if anything, I think it's pretty cool. Actually, the irony is, I heard that little Uzi Vert, apparently he first heard of Marilyn Manson when MTV used to do those claymation fights. So it's pretty funny. That's how he first heard of Marilyn Manson. But yeah, I mean, like if the guy wants to listen to Marilyn Manson, who cares? I mean, who gives a shit? So it's just interesting that he's getting his hair braided by Oprah, and I'm pretty sure I don't have to explain who Oprah is. Um, I'm pretty sure we could maybe know her as the future first female president in 2020, or I don't know, worst case 2024, but we'll see about that. And then you have Tiffany Haddish, who is to me very funny. If you ever watch the new Tracy Morgan show, The Last OG, she's really funny in that. Her stand-up's funny as well, so that's awesome. She seems to be everywhere nowadays. I mean, she's been coming on really strong the past year, building up her reps. So yeah, I think that's really cool. Now, the next person that I mentioned before, I'm not gonna lie to you, I really don't know that much about Zendaya. I hope I'm saying that right. She seems to, I don't know, look like she's like 15 or something. But well, hold on. She was born September 1st, 1996. Okay, let's do some math here. I like to do my math like Howard Stern does his math. So, okay, 1996. Yeah, 10 years to that. That's 2006. At another 10 years, that is 20. It's 20. There you go. So far, so good. So 22. Okay, so she's very young. Okay. From what I've seen here, she's done a lot of stuff on the Disney Channel. So I mean, I don't know, unless it's like Roger Rabbit or I don't know, some kind of Disney special. I don't know much about the Disney Channel. I know a lot of stars have broken out through there, like Britney Spears, Timberlake. So I'm sure she's just carrying on that tradition. So basically, I mean, from what I see, is you have two very strong black women. One more old school, one more, like leading the pack, the last year and probably until the future. Braiding two very, it seems to be two very different people's hair. One's a rapper who almost looks like a rock star, and the other person is just a young actress who is coming up. So both these people that are getting their hair braided, are I guess they're used to maybe someone else, doing things for them because they're a little bit younger. Maybe that could be the message. Lil Uzi Vert, I think he's a little bit older. Let me just have my research team check that. Okay, yeah, apparently he's a couple years older. Again, I don't know much about her, the young actress. I find it funny in the video though. Also, at one point, they're both getting their hair braided. She looks over to him and spits out his tongue, and he's kind of like, "Oh, what the fuck." So I don't know. Maybe that's implying because little Uzi's look. He's supposed to be more scary and threatening. But meanwhile, she's just like spitting on her tongue, going like, "Whatever. I don't care what you look like." So it's like the old saying, don't judge a book by its cover. I mean, they're about the same age. They're both still coming up and enjoying their careers. Just enjoy it. Try not to make that many mistakes, before you're 30, so you don't regret it. And get inspired by people that paved the way. People that started from nothing and worked their way up. Like Oprah and Tiffany Haddish. Oprah's been doing this for a very long time, so I'm pretty sure she knows how to run her own business. And Tiffany here seems to be coming up pretty quick. So I think it represents more just like how much like again, it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. We all start off at a certain point, and it's important that we learn from the people that teach us other things. And just because you see someone who doesn't look quite like you, it doesn't mean they're scary. It just means they're just expressing themselves and how they grew up. All the different styles of music they grew up with, and you know, don't judge them. Just let them live their life and be happy. And like I said before, I mean, they're both sitting on the porch, and when you're younger, you used to do that all the time, and it gets to a point where you get old, and hopefully you retire, and you can just enjoy your life on the porch and just enjoy yourself. Just enjoy the little things in life, like a hot summer day. The next image we have is good old Charlemagne the God. Now, if you don't know who he is 1/3 of the radio music show The Breakfast Club. Now, Charlemagne, he's one of these guys where pretty much for the most part, he lets you know what's on his mind. He sees bullshit, he calls bullshit. Lil Yachty, young rapper, I don't think he's older than 2021. Again, he's got a very unique look to him, very distinct look with his red hair braids, A lot of people like him, a lot of people love him. A lot of people feel he's, kind of repetitive with his music. A lot of people say he's very unique. Me personally, I think he's good, but I think he can be better. But like I said, he's only 2021. Plenty of time for him to, learn more about music. Like when I was 2021, I didn't know nothing unless it was on the radio. Boy, have times have changed. So, and they're both just sitting on the bench, and they're just eating light purple or pink popsicles. What I find interesting is that Charlemagne is just licking the popsicle. He's just, very casual with it. He's in no rush. Little Yachty, he seems to be just chomping away, like, he doesn't care. Like he's like he's in a rush or something. He's not really fully enjoying it. Also with his hair, he's got his eyes covered. So I don't know. I mean, like before, these guys have had little tiffs on the air. I mean, even at one point, Charlemagne said that Lil Yachty is this generation's not worst rapper, but like kind of a like a stereotype of what's wrong with rap today. Which I think personally is kind of harsh. I mean, but I don't know. What are you gonna do? That's Charlemagne, but. I think it just more represents just the different generations, I mean, Charlemagne is, I think Charlemagne's like maybe his mid-30s, almost 40 or something like that, and he's lived a little bit longer than Lil Yachty, who's, still, like in my eyes, still just starting off his career, just barely, and he seems to be taking it, like very slow, just, enjoying it very casually. And Little Yachty's just, more rushing it, Although it's funny too, like Charlemagne's not wearing any jewelry. I don't think he usually does. And then shows Little Yachty with some jewelry as well. So it's just kind of a generation divide, to be honest. But they're both, sitting together on the same bench. They're not like talking to each other, acknowledging each other. It doesn't seem like, but it seems like they're both understanding of each other. And I think that's the whole point. It's like, you could be like 20 years apart from somebody. You may not like their values or, the way they're living life now, or, a lot of it could be just the difference of, just generation, like the old head versus a young head, whatever. And, but still there's a mutual understanding there. There's nothing wrong with, two guys just shooting the shit together, but at the same time, they respect each other. Now, the next image is, it's kind of a funny one, but it's a very interesting one at the same time. First, it starts off with the rapper Gucci Mane. He is just laying on the grass on a towel. He's just wearing shorts, flip-flops. He looks like he just, came out of the Pacific Ocean there. He just, went for a swim or something, and now he's just lying there and just chilling. Then in the back, you have five guys dancing. Now, what appears to be is from left to right is Dr. Dre, Puff Daddy, and yes, I called him Puff Daddy because to me he'll always be Puff Daddy, not P Diddy, not Diddy, not I don't know, Dr. Buddy Love, whatever the fuck he wants to call himself. To me, he'll always be Puff Daddy. I don't give a shit. Then you got Snoop Dogg, you got Wiz Khalifa, and you got Jay-Z, which I'm going to be honest with you, when I did my research on this, I wasn't sure who the last person was. I don't know. To me, that sort of looks like Jay-Z, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that might have been how Jay-Z dressed like 20 years ago, but I don't know. I think, I don't know. I don't see him with a big shirt like that. But anyways, I mean, basically, I mean, and they're all just kind of line dancing. Not line dancing, but they're all kind of just like, I don't know, dancing like the Backstreet Boys or something. I mean, they're all synced in the whole same dance method and whatever. And I don't know, they're still just moving, you know? And that's maybe the whole point of this, is that like all five guys are still, you know, moving and working, and Gucci Mane is, you know, like he's still working too. I mean, he recently got out of jail. He, you know, at one point he was, I mean, he wasn't a real big fat guy, but you know, he had extra weight for sure. You know, he probably lost a good, easily like 50, 60 pounds. You know, and then he got himself into shape, and now he's just chilling. You know, he's still making his music. You know, he's not, you know. He's not number one on the Billboard charts or anything, but, you know, he's a respected OG, you know? He's got a lot of hits under his belt, you know? He's one of these guys, honestly, like, in my opinion, he could probably rap to the day he dies and still, you know, have a very good career. I mean, would he do that? I don't know. But, you know, he doesn't have to prove himself, you know? Like, his music, you know, his lyrics speak for themselves. Now, I'm not saying that all the other five guys don't have that power, you know, but some, you know, people just like the hustle. I mean, they just love, you know, trying new things and, you know, striving to be number one for the rest of their lives. And, you know, I think it's just basically what it represents here, you know. Is that the five guys dancing, I mean, they're still very strong. You got Dr. Dre, who's, I guess, technically a billionaire for selling his, you know, his headphones to Apple. Puff Daddy's always up to something, you know, whether it be his clothing line, the booze, the music, I mean, everything. Snoop Dogg, forget it. Snoop Dogg is, you could arguably say that Snoop Dogg is probably the most recognized face, if not one of the most recognized faces in music, you know, to this day, and probably forever will be, you know. Wiz Khalifa, he's been doing his thing for a very long time, you know. He's very, and I find it funny too that they put Snoop, you know, and Wiz Khalifa together here, you know, because, you know, they're very good friends. They've done many collaborations together. They even did a movie together, you know. And Wiz Khalifa's a pretty cool dude, and yeah, he's got a lot of hits as well. Like he's running his own record label, you know, a lot of great artists there. And Jay-Z, well, again, if you don't know who the fuck Jay-Z is, you know, just stop listening. But yeah, I mean, you know, I'm pretty sure probably by the end of this podcast, he'll probably be technically, or who knows, by the end of this year, he'll probably be a billionaire by himself. I mean, him and Beyonce are already over, you know, $1 billion together, you know, so his work speaks for himself. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys, they just love, you know, they just love to keep working, you know. And again, like I'm saying, like I'm not saying Gucci Mane doesn't, you know, work as hard or he can't or whatever. But I think the main message in this image is that, you know, some people, you know, they just love doing it. Some people just are just enjoying the fruits of their labor. They're just enjoying their freedom. You know, I mean, Gucci Mane was locked up for a bit. You know, I'm sure he's just happy to be out and just love doing his thing, you know, and just enjoying just life, you know, like, you know, he doesn't have to run like a $1 million company or whatever. He's just, you know, it's the little things in life that make life worth living, you know. And, you know, if you could just be out in the world and, just make a living off what you love doing, and that's all you need in life. That's all some people want in life. And then other people just build this huge empire. And they enjoy doing that too. So like both worlds. Like either way, you're considered as an icon. And in the end, the pursuit of happiness, there's just different ways of handling it. Now, this next image I just find funny. Now, I'm just going to tell my point of view about it. Like, I'm not sure what everyone else thinks. I don't care. So I'm just going to do my thing on this. So again, there's like a porch setting. Sitting on the porch in a chair is Young Thug. And he appears to be playing a Game Boy. I mean, I'm a kid that grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, so I know a lot about Game Boy. That's a Game Boy, all right? I see the cartridge in the back. I don't give a shit what anybody says. That's a Game Boy. And sitting just on the steps of the porch seem to be the three LeVar brothers. And they seem to be playing a Game Boy Advance. Now, I can tell because of the shape of it. Now, basically, I think it just represents that, Young Thug. Okay, so he's got the name Young in his name. Now, Young Thug, a lot of people have always compared him to Lil Wayne. I think he's pretty cool. I've heard his last couple albums. I like it. He's got a very unique sound. I like the way he produces his albums. I think it's very well done. But it's funny how he is taking a page from the old school. Now, you could show him with an Xbox, PlayStation, or just even on his phone playing video games. But he's taking it back to a Game Boy. So to me, this symbolizes that he really respects the old school. And at one point, he's playing it, and then he's got a big smile on his face. So he really, really enjoys it, and he loves looking back at the old school. And I'm definitely sure that's what inspires him. Then you got the LeVar brothers. I find it funny that the one in the middle, he's playing it and he's all confused. The other two are just looking on. I'm just assuming LeVar seems to be the one that's playing it and confused about playing it. The one on the left seems to be Lee Angelo. And the one on the right is LaMelo. Now, like I said before, it looks like Lonzo's playing Game Boy Advance. Now, again, I think this just represents that just because you're playing something that says advance doesn't mean that you are advanced. Again, all I know about this family is that for some reason the father thinks that he could beat Jordan in one-on-one, which I don't know, he's nuts. But and then he's kind of I saw the one episode there of all the LeVar family there, and I don't know. I mean, maybe he's pushing these kids too much, too soon or something. Maybe he's advancing them when he shouldn't be. Anyways, so maybe the whole message here is, just, do your history. There's no rush in life, just take your time with it. Next image is 4 rappers. One rapper is 2 Chainz, just taking a picture of Meek Mill, Pusha T, and Lil Wayne. Now, all 3 of these guys seem to be about the same age, and they've done a lot in their careers, and they just want to capture it, And 2 Chainz is a little bit older, but at the same time, he's been through a lot as well, and I think what this represents is basically, all these guys, I mean, they may not be in the prime of their career right now, but they're still all steadily working, and it's nice just to sit back and just literally take a picture of it and just, bask it all in. I know that a lot of the people before, and even before in this video, you inspired a lot of these guys, and it's cool to remember that. Then, of course, as soon as you take a picture, there's always some kids in the background that ruin it. And that's exactly what happened here. Ray Schwimmer is a rap duo group, Sway Lee and Slim Jimmy. They come in there with their, I don't know, it looks like super soakers. That's what I used to use in the 90s. And they just sprayed the guys, and they just run away. And then they come across a guy who's just watering the grass with a hose. Great rapper by the name of J. Cole, which a lot of people consider the next generation's Nas. And I agree with that 100%. Ray Schwimmer just start spraying him with the super soakers, and of course he's got the trusty hose, and he starts spraying Sway Lee, and he ends up running away. It's a cool image. It's kind of like like Ray Schwimmer came in there, sprayed the three rappers there, and they're like, we're still here, we're we respect you guys, but we're gonna, we're still here, we're slowly taking over. And then they started spraying J. Cole, and J. Cole's, I'm not going to take that. I'm going to spray you right back, So, it's friendly competition, though. That's the way I see that whole scene. It's not like anybody's hating on anybody there. That's how rap should always be. If you want to face off against somebody, nobody should get killed. No one getting actually shot with a real gun. Everyone's just fucking around with water guns. That's what a battle rap is. You face off against each other, you get some good lines in there, and then afterwards you shake hands, and that's it. No one should have to die because of music. Biggie, Pac, these guys should have been the ultimate sacrifices, but unfortunately many people have died after that, and I'm just wondering, when the fuck is it going to end already? People dying over music. If you don't like someone, fine, don't kill them over it, especially over a line that they said in the song about you. Okay, get them back, say something in your song, and that's it. It's friendly competition. That's all it is. So I think that just represents the friendly competition, the older generation versus the new one, and kind of like the so-called middle, I guess you could say, like J. Cole, like I'm still here too, don't think of me as an old head, I used to be just like you too, and the three guys at the beginning there, they're just chilling, enjoying it. 2 Chainz, can oversee all this. He's basking it all in. Basically they're all happy to be there, and they're not hating each other. It's just friendly competition, and that's the way it always should be. In the next image, you have 2 beautiful women, in my opinion, with very different styles. Sort of. They might seem a little similar. Maybe the way they dress and whatever. Who cares? They both can sing their asses off. Janelle Monáe, God, I hope I'm saying that right, and SZA. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. And it just shows them both on skateboards, and they're just cruising down the street, very very chill. SZA, I notice the camera zooms in on her. She speeds up a little bit and goes slightly ahead of Janelle there. See, again, like I think it's the same thing. Like I would be before they were comparing the rappers and friendly competition. Same thing. I mean, there's competition in R&B too. But again, it's friendly. That's all it is. It's just friendly competition. I keep repeating that, but I just really want people to remember that, and I think that's what makes this video so good as well, is just like, like the imagery and, like how everything is just conveyed. I mean, it's, there's beefs in rap, there's beefs in R&B, like I'm sure people in country don't like each other either, or dance music or polka, whatever, but it's all friendly. It's all on the same level. They're still all, grouped together, and, you guys and girls have to find a way to just get along with each other, without no violence or any other bullshit. And, it's very smooth. It's a smooth ride, whether it be running on the grass or rolling on a skateboard. Then it shows Childish Gambino again, just walking down the street, and it goes to black. It just shows him just in the background, and he slowly fades into the black. Then it shows an image of Chris Brown. He's sitting down, and he's got his hands in front of his face, and it appears that he's crying. Now, with Chris Brown, I could probably do a whole podcast on this guy alone. Personally, myself, I got mixed reviews about Chris Brown. I mean, at one point, they were calling this guy the next Michael Jackson. I mean, a lot of people still say he is the next Michael Jackson. I mean, the guy can dance his ass off. He can sing. He's a very talented guy. I'm not even gonna doubt that. And then the whole Rihanna situation happened. Those of you who've been sleeping under a rock the last 10 years, Chris Brown used to go out with Rihanna, and they had an altercation in a car where I mean, it almost looked like Rihanna, could have easily been beaten to death. And Chris Brown is being diagnosed as bipolar, and he's got a lot of issues he's got to work out. I personally don't like kicking a guy when he's down. I've never met Chris Brown. I don't know this guy from a hole in the wall. I'm just telling you what I've heard about this guy. It's just, the image that Childish Gambino's portraying here is, it's definitely not a positive one. It's almost as if, he's illustrating that Chris Brown has, maybe finally realized, all the shit he's done, and, he just needs a good cry just to get it out, like we all do at times, and, it's something that's going to take many years to fix, and, him being in the public eye is not going to help things, If he needs time to, figure out some stuff, then take it, Kanye did. So, take your time with it. To be honest with you, I hope Chris Brown gets, the help he needs. And, I can't imagine, like, being compared to Michael Jackson, like, being called the next Michael Jackson. I mean, that alone is pressure anyway. I'm sure that probably always runs in the back of his head. If I was him, I would just forget that. I hate it when people compare other people. He's the next, she's the next. Just shut up. You're gonna be the next you. That's it. So, My advice to Chris Brown, like I said, is just, if you need time off, take it. Uh, you know, I heard the last album he made, it had like 50 songs on it, 60 songs. Personally, I think that's too much. Maybe he's trying to, maybe psychologically, maybe he's trying to let a lot go or something. I don't know. But, take the time, you need to get better. And, when you come back, you don't got to be the next Michael Jackson. You just got to be Chris Brown. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. When I first saw this video, keep in mind I've seen this video probably multiple times. I've probably watched this video easily like 25, 30 times in the last week. That's how much I like the song, that's how much I like the video. But this was, when I first saw the video, this was the image that was like, oh, shit. You gotta rub it in, don't you, Mr. Gambino? You gotta So the image I'm talking about is our next image, which is Outkast. And it starts off with showing Andre 3000 first, just shows him. Again, I'm just going to point out he's got his eyes closed. And then they, back to back, Big Boy is on the other side. And he also has his eyes closed. Outkast is one of my favorite groups growing up. They had a very unique sound. It seems like every track they made was just different. If you don't know their discography, go listen to it after this podcast. You will be very happy. One of my favorite tracks is The Art of Storytelling. I guess part 3, because that's the version with Slick Rick on it. So, yeah, like the list goes on. Again, I could spend a whole podcast talking about these guys, but it's just a sad image, for me anyway, because, I was thinking, like, will there be another Outkast album, Will there be an Under 3000 actual solo album, How long will Big Boy keep making his albums, I don't know. Who knows? And it's funny that they're standing back to back. It looks like that they're touching. So they're still. Literally, he's saying that they're still in touch, but they can't look at each other. And not only that, but their eyes are both closed, so they can't, see what the future holds. They can't see ahead of them. So it's like, they're still in touch. They're still on good terms. But more than likely, you will probably not see an Outkast album in the future, or ever. So, that's me personally. It's a little depressing, and it goes with life as well. I'm sure people out there, like even me, I got friends and family that I still get along with. I just never really see, and it's no disrespect or anything, and there's a mutual understanding there, but. It just just because someone knows someone, it doesn't mean they have to work with them. They've already proven that they can make classic music together. So, you think in the future that you're always going to be, you're going to have the same friends as you will, like, 10, 20 years from now, but it's not realistic. I heard a fact years ago that the older you get, I think maybe past 25, 30, you tend to change friends every 7 years, the average person. So, this image, like I said, it's sad. It's probably one of the saddest images, me personally, I've seen in this video. But, to me, it's symbolic to, you could still have a good understanding with someone, but at the same time, you may not see them every day like you should, or you don't have to. But there'll always be that, understanding. And maybe with some hope, you will work together again. But the sad fact about life is, it doesn't always work out like that. The next image is the lovely Rihanna. I'm pretty sure Rihanna has no idea how to make a song and for it not to go to number one. Um, I don't know. If she's not worth $1 billion either, I don't know. Something's not right. But yeah, it's a very simple image. She's cross-legged. She's just wearing socks. Uh, she's kind of dressed like a like in a Star Trek uniform, maybe. I don't know. She kind of looks like I don't know, the black chick in the old Star Wars shows. But yeah, I don't know. She's kind of got a grin on her face. She's I don't know. She seems pretty chill. I mean, it's almost like she's like meditating or something with her eyes open. So I don't know. It's a pretty it's a pretty simple image. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, maybe it just represents you you could just be very chill in life. Very relaxed. You're at a good point of your career. I mean, Rihanna's been doing it for a long time too. I mean, it seems like she's been around longer than she really has. But I mean, she's accomplished like so much in her life. And again, like she can keep doing it forever. If she wants to. So maybe when you reach a certain level of success, you're just used to it. Like you're just comfortable with it. You can just be you. Now the next image is Whitney Houston. Now it's a little sad seeing this image, and it's kind of ironic seeing it even after Rihanna. I mean, I can't be the first person to say that there's some similarity between Rihanna and Whitney Houston. Very old school, Whitney Houston look, with the jacket, the gloves, jeans, the white shirt, the hair, but also she's got her eyes closed and she's standing up, It's almost like the complete opposite of our last image. It's almost as if like she's dressed for business, but she's not ready to face it. And maybe that's the message there. A lot of times we have to perform, but we don't feel like it, and sometimes we're put in a position where we got no choice. And it sucks in life, like a lot of times, yeah, people still got to get up to work every day, do the 9 to 5, support their kids and wife and family, and and they just got to keep going, and some of us are in the public eye and we have no choice but to perform, even if we're not happy. It shouldn't be like that, because it might end up costing us later. And it's something we should always think about when we see people perform on stage. They're in many ways they're giving us a little sneak peek in their lives. And a lot of people say, oh, they owe it to us, we paid for the ticket. It's like, no, they don't owe us shit. I mean, and in a way they do owe you. Okay, like we paid and we came all the way there, but I mean, let's just take consideration of other people's feelings. It's hard to keep your eyes closed for everything that's ahead of you. They should, you should be able to face everything, with your eyes open and, be happy, about who you are. So we don't have to face it later. The last image seen in this video is one of my favorite artists of all time, Michael Jackson. And he barely looks 20 in this image. He's got, you know, the disco pointed shoulder shirt, you know, the loose tie, the light beige pants, the big fro, you know. And the image starts off with his eyes being closed. And then afterwards, he opens his eyes and he just starts laughing. And he's got the famous MJ smile that everyone's used to. And it's funny too, because like during the part of the song, I mean, the way Childish Gambino sings, I mean, I've said this before too in the past to people, he sounds like MJ. I mean, like, you listen to a lot of these guys, you know, like guys like Chris Brown, Usher, you know, you could tell like these guys were all inspired by MJ. You know, MJ was the man. I mean, this is the guy that started everything. Like, again, I know, you know, like, I know, I'm aware that Michael Jackson was very inspired by James Brown. We all know that, you know. You know, but my generation, he just, you know, he kept it going. He almost like elevated that shit, especially with moves, and it's just phenomenal. So for him to end the video like this, I feel, you know, for the most part, he's ending it on a positive note. You know, again, you know, it's tragic the way, you know, Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson ended their lives, you know, but it's important to remember like the impact that both these people had. And, you know, with MJ, you know, he was just such a powerful force, you know, and again, it's, you know, like some people, you know, wanted to keep their eyes closed and not always like, you know, have everything out there in the public. Like MJ didn't really seem to care. I mean, like he would go out in public like by himself, or, you know, like he didn't care. I mean, you know, like he did, yeah, like he didn't always do that, but you know, he'd always acknowledge his fans, and you know, he was just a very just loving guy. And you know, I think it's important that Childish Gambino showed MJ in this form, because it's almost like I mean, this is when I mean, this is like a really cool image of Michael Jackson, because this is like where MJ like really looked like MJ, you know. I mean, like a lot of people always think back to the you know, the Michael Jackson Thriller album cover, but I mean, this is really, you know, cool MJ. And you know, he laughs, you know. And it's important to realize that you know, music, I've always said this, in the end, music is, you know, meant to do two things: be fun and give an important message. If you can somehow master those two things, you'll always be a great artist. And I think MJ was one of the best that ever did that. And you know, like I said, he ended it with him laughing, and you know, he always made us laugh and made us happy. So I think it's very inspiring. I'm not saying MJ was perfect by any means, you know, no human is, but you know, he did the best he could. And it's cool that Childish Gambino, you know, let us know that this is probably his favorite artist that inspired him the most. And this is how he remembers him. And the video ends with Childish Gambino just walking into his house. Before he walked into his house, though, he looked down the street, the same direction that he kept walking in. So I found it interesting that he didn't look at the sun, like he didn't look that way. Instead, he kept looking straight, you know, as almost as if he's saying, you know what, I'm still gonna keep going. You know, I just need a little rest for a bit, you know, but I still know what's ahead of me, and I still know where to go. There's You go online and I don't know, people say stupid shit. Like at the bottom right, there's a garbage can, and a lot of people said that. I don't know. Hey, there's Tekashi 6ix9ine. That's that's a cheap shot. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not a big fan of Tekashi 6ix9ine. I mean, that's another guy that's got a lot of fucking growing up to do. But like again, it's the internet. It's just again, it's one of those things you just gotta take with being an artist. So and then he goes inside and just fades to black. So a lot of people, like I said before, a lot of people said that this could be his last song, his last album. So maybe it's his way of saying, what, I'm done. I'm going inside and that's it. But it's funny though, like the sun is still shining. It hasn't set. Like it's still a bright sun in the sky. Like it hasn't stopped being summer the whole video. I think that's kind of the point too. Is like every summer, like everybody just wants to have that big hit. And I think a lot of people always forget like what the real essence of summer is just it's just one of those seasons where everybody can still go outside. Okay, you might sweat your ass off a little bit, but fall, you never know what the conditions could be. You gotta clean up the leaves, and it could be cold. And the winter, forget it. It's like a snowstorm, and then the spring. Okay, it's not quite summer, but summer is like that medium, And although like a lot of these rappers like may not get along with each other that you saw in the video, like they're all in the same street. They're still all in the same area. Like they're still in the same community, and they're all still getting along with each other. And Childish Gambino is still there, and he respects that, and he's still there. He's just observing it. He's not making any comments or judgments or anything like that. He just keeps going. I'm very proud of Childish Gambino for everything he's accomplished so far in his life, and God only knows what else he's going to accomplish in like the next 5-10 years of his life. He's a really cool guy, and I wish him all the best. And I really wish that he keeps making more music. If you want to take a break, you want to go in your house and chill out for a bit on a hot sunny day, that's cool. I hope you got AC in there, because like I said before, Atlanta gets really hot. But I still hope you continue to make music. When you got the people's ear, I'm not saying you have to, or it's your responsibility to make people listen to you, but it's a great gift. And I know he's doing all these other projects, like movies, stand up, writing TV shows, but you got the people's ear, and make sure they hear what you got to say. Childish Gambino. Gambino. Childish. You can be tough and have a fun side at the same time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that ends Childish Gambino, aka Donald Glover, Part 2.